So it's going to be Liverpool against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final. Liverpool advancing after a narrow aggregate victory against Fulham, while Chelsea definitely made the best of their second leg tie. And that is not to say that we didn't expect Chelsea to do this or Liverpool to do what they did, because both of them were facing two different sides. Chelsea were facing a team in the Championship. Liverpool were facing a Premier League side. Both the results basically bore out the fruit of what we thought. Chelsea should have taken away the game in the first leg against Middlesbrough, but their poor performance was categorically denied in the second leg when they managed to beat Middlesbrough comfortably at home. Liverpool, on the other hand, were facing a Premier League side, Fulham, who we have seen have some very good games, especially against the top side so far this season, and a team that they shouldn't have taken lightly at all. And that is exactly what Jurgen Klopp did. So the second leg was decided by Luis Diaz's goal, because that pretty much set the tone for the rest of the game. Fulham, in my opinion, did not come out of the blocks early enough, and they didn't take care of business. They seemed as though they were hoping for Liverpool to make a mistake, and then with them being the team that needed to chase the game after that, they would pounce. And it didn't really follow the plan that they wanted, because Liverpool were very stable at the back, and it just felt as though Fulham tried to turn the engine on towards the end of the game. And it was very important for Wilson to come in, because I felt as though he's the person who gave him the energy, and his engine is what kept them ticking on. The first half was an okay game. I think that Liverpool realized that with their back line having three youngsters and the only person of any real note back there being Van Dijk, they realized that they probably shouldn't attack Fulham all the way through. Their front line was always going to be potent. You know, you had Jota and you had Nunez. And so you knew overall that Liverpool had the strength to try and turn it on when they needed to. But because of the injuries that they have so far and the fact that they're missing a couple of very important players, they weren't going to go all out. They pretty much did most of what they needed to do at Anfield, because that comeback in the first leg pretty much put the nail in the coffin for Fulham. Fulham also have a very bad record against Liverpool, so this was a game that you would have hoped for Fulham to raise the temperature and the level up higher, but simply because Liverpool are that formidable of an opponent, and the fact that Jurgen Klopp didn't really need to tweak too much, you almost pretty much knew that the writing was on the wall for Fulham, much as it was for Middlesbrough. So Middlesbrough did win the first leg against Chelsea, and Chelsea knew that they needed to turn it up some, because a Championship side should not be able to take away the first leg the same way that they did against Chelsea. It wasn't because Middlesbrough were streets ahead of Chelsea. It was because Chelsea were very lackadaisical in possession. They had so many opportunities to put that game away, which they didn't. So in the second leg, they pretty much went on their way, and within the first 15 minutes, you knew the game was over. And by the time it was halftime, it was 4-0. By that time, Middlesbrough's hearts had dropped, and one of the things that you would want to applaud them for is to try and carry on the same way they approached the first leg. I can't fault them for trying to play from the back, but that is catastrophically done when you try to do it against a top Premier League side. And Chelsea have had their problems this season, but one thing they were definitely not going to have a problem with is trying to sniff out any problems that Middlesbrough would have. They were definitely a little naive trying to go into this game thinking that they were going to pressure Chelsea, and by trying to play from the back, trying to build their play from the back all the way to the front, Chelsea were obviously going to have much better players with much better quality, and it was going to be only a matter of time before they would capitulate. And they did so within the first half. I think that Chelsea's good performers on the night were surprisingly Disasi, who was playing on the right-hand side. I didn't know he had that in his locker, and he seemed very forward-thinking, and most of Chelsea's best attacks did come from the right-hand side, and he was gifted with a goal as well. And you do also like the way that Palma always rises to the occasion, and he managed to do that again in this game. I think he has been the one shining light for Chelsea. He always seems to perform well, and so he righted a few of the wrongs that he had in the first leg. Pochettino is going to take heart from this, pissed because they dispatched Middlesbrough easily, just like they should have done in the first leg. And when you look at the opponent that they're about to face in Liverpool, they are going to have a dress rehearsal for that because they face each other in the Premier League on the 31st of January, which quite interestingly is also going to be transfer deadline day. So we're going to see if Chelsea's going to be busy in the market. Liverpool, I don't know if they are going to be too busy because they are still trying to work out, their midfield. The injury to Salah apparently is not going to be too long, 28 days, about a month is going to be very long in their eyes as far as their title challenge, but I don't really see them needing to bring anybody else in that front line. But I do think that January 31st is going to be a good precursor to what we're going to see, because Liverpool and Chelsea, whenever they faced each other in a final, I think it's pretty obvious if you go back and look at it, Liverpool and Chelsea have always drawn. And even when they faced each other in the league, I think it's been 6 or 7 consecutive draws. So I do think that tie is going to be broken in this final. I think Liverpool are going to be ahead of Chelsea as far as form, and they are a better side. Jurgen Klopp has also proven that he's very good at changing things in game. You can go and see my last video as how many superlatives I try to award Jurgen Klopp, because he's just an elite manager. But I do think that the fact that Liverpool have as many injuries as they do, and the fact that Salah is also added into that, is going to make this game a lot closer than it should be. Chelsea don't have any significant injury problems other than Nkunku, who has played a couple of games in the league, but Chelsea have done without him for the most part of this season. So if I'm to think about it, I think Liverpool are definitely going to be favorites for that. But I do also see that game on the 31st as playing a part, because maybe Chelsea will try out to suss Liverpool with a different formation. We all know that Liverpool genuinely like that 4-3-3 with a singular holding midfielder. But Chelsea also play a 4-3-3, and it's going to be a clash of styles. Whether or not Chelsea are going to give Liverpool the respect that a lot of the teams give them is going to be another question. But funny enough, when two opponents face each other that are so familiar with each other as Chelsea and Liverpool are, it ends up being stalemate. These are the type of games where form goes out of the window. I do see it being a tense final. I don't think Chelsea are going to take it by streets. I don't think Liverpool are going to take it by streets, at least as far as the way I see both teams playing. Chelsea are also in decent form. So why shouldn't Chelsea believe that they can be able to dent Liverpool's quadruple hopes? On the other hand, Jurgen Klopp is the best manager that I've seen in making in-game tactical changes. So he's more than likely going to be able to counter whatever Chelsea are going to do in that final by reading what they have done right or wrong in that first half. And unless Chelsea get a strong foothold in that game, I can see Liverpool quite possibly being able to suss them out. And if it comes to just eking out the victory, Liverpool are going to be very good at doing that. They've done it so many times this season, and I don't see any reason as to why Jurgen Klopp wouldn't be able to do that against Pochettino. So overall, I think both sides showed that they are the best two sides as far as this point of the Carabao Cup goes, because Liverpool have dispatched of their opponents the way they should have, and Chelsea, it took them a while with Middlesbrough, but they eventually did it, and they did it with aplomb. A 6-1 victory is nothing to be sniffed at. And on the other side, Liverpool do what Liverpool do best. They read their opponents. They're able to come from behind, as in the case was with the first leg, and they did it very well in the second half by realizing that they just needed to put Fulham at arm's length. And that's exactly what they did. So overall, I think it's going to be a good final. Let me know what you guys think. It's your boy Izzy. Thank you for watching me. I appreciate all of the support you guys always give me. And until the next time, as always, peace.